Designed by Jen Kai and Scott, Abstract Arena is a game in which you battle enemies and create abstract, expressionist masterpieces. The game takes inspiration from artists such as Jackson Pollock, using the medium of combat to create a painting you can be proud of in a virtual reality environment.
Abstract Arena is at its core a VR combat game in which you fight with art supplies like a paintbrush, palette knife and spray paint, in a Colosseum-style arena where every attack motion creates a burst of color onto the arena floor, your canvas. Select your color from a color wheel attached to your shield, your palette, and defend your art from enemies wielding white paint weapons.
The game is intended for children and adolescents who want to have fun creating art in the medium of VR. The style of the game is very cartoon inspired, with the player wielding a paint tool rather than a weapon, and enemies look like they wandered straight out of a cartoon, inspired by shadows from Kingdom Hearts and the slimes from Slime Rancher.
The game would be created using Unreal Engine, with the recent release of Unreal Engine 5 taking advantage of the top-of-the-line virtual reality capabilities. Unreal Engine is also very compatible with many different platforms, so you would be able to play this game on any platform that supports VR.
Once the player starts up the game, they will find themselves in the centre of a Colosseum, standing on a white canvas. Around the player in the stands of the Colosseum will be a collection of famous artists to watch them paint their masterpiece. The artists will speak to the player during the game, taunting them, discussing concepts and setting the mood.
In their preferred hand, the player will wield either a paintbrush, a palette knife or a spray can and can swap between them during gameplay. Each tool will have its own special place in combat, with the spray paint being a ranged weapon, the paintbrush being a slashing sword, and the palette knife acting like a giant hammer. The player will select the color paint to be used from the back of the shield in their offhand. Using the tool in an attacking style will then create an area of color.
Enemies will appear in waves to attack the player and be a general nuisance, wielding weapons of white paint which cover over the player's art as they attack. Players will then attack the enemies with their tools, making their art and damaging the enemies. The enemies will have a color attached to them, and attacking them with the opposite color will do extra damage.
If the player gets hit, they will take damage, and as they do, their screen will start to go monochrome. This has the effect of making it more difficult to tell which colour they are using at the time. Not getting hit for a while will bring their hit points back up and colours will normalise.
The player will also be able to paint the canvas they are standing on by dragging the paint tool on the floor. There will be paint on the floor, and they can change the color they are using on their tool, using them in different ways to create more art. They can even blend the colors already on the canvas by dragging their paint tool through the paint.
The enemies will spawn in 3 different waves, with a few seconds between each wave in which the player can catch their breath and paint the canvas. Each wave will last no more than 1 or 2 minutes, so the whole game will be less than 10 minutes long. Perfect to play a quick game while on a break, or to get your child to play so you can have a few minutes of freedom.
The arena-style combat has been inspired by VR games such as Gorn by Devolver Digital in 2017. We wanted to target a younger audience, so we gave vibrant cartoon-style painting, influenced by Splatoon by Nintendo 2015. Using ideas as shown in Vermillion VR by Thomas Vanderberg in 2022, players can learn how different paint styles and tools interact with each other in a fun environment.
The game is also intended to be simple, with complex interactions you can learn through play. There will also be difficulty setting, allowing for younger kids to have an easier time, while more experienced artists can throw paint around to their heart's content. This will take the form of both stronger enemies and more colours on the palette, with both being options so the difficulty can be tailored to the player.
While the concept of an arena fighter isn't new, the addition of being able to make abstract art through your gameplay will make this stand out from its competitors. The ability to also save your final artworks for display on social media will also allow players to show off their masterpieces.
Thank you for listening to our presentation, and we hope you like the concept of Abstract Arena.